Hello, this is A View from Section C, episode 34. Senior, how's it going?
I'm good, Junior. I'm living the dream, as they say.
Good. Um,
Yeah.
I, it's a little bit disappointing, but I'm also glad that it's a fully clothed show.
Well, listen, you're saying fully clothed, right? For the people who are watching, they can only see us for the top up. They don't care what's for the bottom down.
Yeah.
No,
So
yeah.
thankfully, no 8.8 point podcast.
I,
And Lars was
I
going on a
got
naked show.
I got I got a message after you put out last week's show. I got a message from Gary Monroe saying, "Please, please don't do the podcast naked." I
Yeah.
think you'd only put the show out, and it must have been whenever, like, you must have listened to it straight away, and the
Yeah.
message came through on my phone. Please, please don't do a naked show.
Oh God, I know. As soon as you said it, I was like, "Fuck! I really hope we didn't win these 4 games." Um,
As much as we hoped that they would, that was never going to happen, was it?
Never say never, La. Never say never.
Nah,
But yeah, so it's been an eventful week.
it has.
It's been an eventful week for us as well.
Certainly has. Yep.
Some big news for the show. And obviously we'd said that everyone on social media want a pizza the action. Love a bit of play on words. I do.
Yes, we
Um,
do.
we're actually ecstatic to announce, and I don't know if you maybe want to announce this. Seeing as you're one of the older generation hockey fans,
Oh
and
wow, that was very rude. You were there when the guy wore number 27 for
I
the
was,
Stars. You
I
were
was,
there. Me and you were there. The very first game of the Dundee Stars against the Ayr Scottish Eagles up
yes,
at the ice rink,
this player's old
and
team.
we seen this. Let's say wee guy skating down the wing.
The little guy.
Probably the little guy. Probably still one of the fastest players ever to play in British ice hockey.
Yep,
And to
without
go
a
with
doubt.
his speed, he was so skillful.
Yep,
Uh,
one of the
and
best snipers.
yeah, yeah. The, he's probably one of the best. He's an
Yes,
absolute
yeah,
legend for in Scott, certainly in Dundee ice hockey, but obviously at Ayr as well,
yeah,
and an Italian legend. So
yes,
yeah,
without a doubt.
I'll
But
let you
no,
announce it because
it's not an it's
He's
not an
not
interview,
here.
folks.
It's
It's
not
not
an
an
interview.
interview.
Nope.
No, we are absolutely delighted to announce that. Now, I want to get the pronunciation right because I was informed that it was
Yes.
incorrect. However, he's happy for it to be like that way.
Yeah.
We're delighted to announce that we have a new sponsor of the show in Don McKellar, or as we all say, Don Michelle.
Don Michelle.
Don Michelle. So yeah, delighted
Yes.
to announce that Don Michelle is now the official podcast sponsor. Obviously, we've been looking to get people in for a while to kind of publicise their things, their businesses. It's a kind of free of charge sort of thing. We don't request any money.
Nope.
As much as people think it's all about the money, it's never about the money. We're just wanting to help people, especially guys like Paddy, who has been an absolute stalwart for the club over the
Yeah.
years. He's still in Dundee, say the business. And folks, I'll tell you right now, Larzo, no more Pizzagate.
No, that's
Best
it.
pizzas in Dundee, Don Michelle, without a
Yes.
doubt.
Yeah. It's not Asda
I
anymore.
doubt.
Asda's
Nah,
is now banned.
as has been
Asda
after
is now
the bin,
banned.
after been Tesco's, Morrison's has
Yeah.
been. It's Don Michelle. And
Yeah.
speaking of pizzas, we do have a competition coming up in partnership with Don Michelle. So obviously we'll get into our preview of the games at the weekend. However, we are at home to the Guildford Flames on Saturday, and Don Michelle have kindly donated a prize for this competition of guess the first goal scorer. Now, that could be a Stars player, it could be a Guildford player. Hopefully it is a Stars player. But any player, whoever scores the first goal, if you are correct and win the competition, you will receive 2 free pizzas from Don Michel. Again, no more Pizzagate. We've got the best pizzas in town sponsoring this show. Obviously, if there's more than one person guess the same player, obviously you'll go into like a little kind of raffle. Is one of the wee electronic wheels that we do online. Your name will be added to it, and obviously it'll be a random selection on who wins. The competition will close after the warm-ups on Saturday, because obviously you need to know who's playing, because we've had some injuries.
Exactly.
Not some, a lot of injuries.
A lot of injuries.
You know what? And listen, I'm going to keep saying a lot of injuries because other clubs keep saying, "Oh, we've got a lot of injuries." You know, we always just get on with it. But yeah, a lot of injuries. So you need to know who's playing to guess who's scoring. And obviously, you might not realise who's playing for Guildford if they might be the first goal scorer as well. So, yeah, you'll get put into that wheel if there's more than one person with the same name, and then it'll be a prize draw from there. So 2 free pizzas up for grabs. Larzo, are you entering?
No, you can't. No, I wouldn't be allowed to do that. That'd be against the rules. We can't put in for our own competition. I'll get your mum to do it.
Yeah, get mum to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't just stop there.
No, it does not.
It does not stop there.
The prizes just keep going.
Yeah. So for the whole month of November, if you go to Don Michel and you mention the title of the podcast, A View from Section C, you will be entitled to 20% off your bill. You cannot ask for more than that.
Nope.
Honestly.
Certainly not for, you ready? Play on words. We like to play on words. Certainly not for starters.
Oh my God, that's a brutal one.
Here we go.
Jesus. People are going to be listening to this when it gets released thinking, what the fuck is we? Jesus. But yeah, so 2 free pizzas, 20% off your bill for the whole month of November if you say the title of the show. Again, we cannot be any more ecstatic than we are with getting Don Michel on board, Don McKellar on board. Yeah, it was a great talk with Paddy last week when we were discussing all this, and
it was good. It was really funny because you sort of seen Paddy in a different light.
Yes,
it was just like your mate.
Yep, you saw the businessman Paddy as well as your pal Paddy. But yeah, it was great to have a good sit down with him, have a chat. We're going to believe it or not, folks, Paddy is a little bit shy. He was a bit shy about coming on the show, so we're going to keep at him and try and get him on for a wee interview and talk about some of his previous hockey experiences, because we did get some on last week.
We did get some stories, didn't we? We got some stories.
They're not suitable for this show. Although we curse on this, they're not suitable for the show.
They're not suitable for the show. No. Ice hockey in Dundee would be stopped.
I know, quite possibly. So competition, we will put out a post on the A View from Section C Facebook page and on Twitter. All you need to do is comment and reply to it. We'll gather all that. Whoever scores the first goal, we'll have a look at. We'll get all the names together, put it in a wheel, and then we'll announce the winner from there. So yeah, big bit of news for us.
Can't thank Paddy and his team enough. Really, really cannot. We'd sort of reached out, and he was all for it. He's listened to a few shows. He knew Kyle Haas from last season.
The players
Kyle was in there.
The players going a lot over the years. We've hosted events there.
Yeah, he'd heard of the podcast, so why not? Why not reach out and see what come back? And cannot thank him and his team enough.
Definitely
for that.
And
so
the prizes will get bigger and better.
Yep,
they will get bigger and better.
From Section C, sponsored by Don McKellar.
Yeah, so
Don Michel.
Don Michel. So there'll be other prizes. We'll be looking at weekly prizes. We might have a big one at the end of the month as well. So yeah, there'll be things going on all the time, different types of competitions. So tune in. We'll obviously keep kind of pushing on with that. But let's look at hockey. So we had
Yes.
4 games. Obviously we previewed the Sheffield game a little bit later and didn't preview it and reviewing it now. I'm you know what, Lars? I'm going to be honest. I'm so glad we're done with midweek games for a couple of weeks now
Definitely.
because we forgot to even preview the Belfast game. Although we mentioned
Yeah.
the 8 Point Naked podcast, we forgot
Yeah.
to even preview that. So we do have 4 games to review. First up was away to the Sheffield Steelers. So a big result for the Stars. Fabrizio Ricci scoring at 22:06 with assists by Toms Rutkiss and Devon Daniels. A quick equaliser through Martin Littau at 24:48 on the power play. And then the game-winning goal scored by Carter Folk at 44:52, assisted by Fabrizio Ricci, and a man-of-the-match performance for Anton Svensson.
Yeah.
Some result again in Sheffield for the Stars.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The only negative I thought, right, and when we review the games, especially the Giants game, so this is obviously Thursday night we are doing this, so the Giants game from last night, and it happened in Sheffield. We score a goal and then concede a penalty straight away.
Yeah.
Or within minutes,
Yeah.
But I mean seconds, and the team scores of it. And when Sheffield scored, when Littau scored, that was a bit, okay, we took the lead, great. They've equalised within minutes, and I know it's a power play, and I'm thinking, here we go, and it didn't transpire, We dug deep.
Yep.
Anton played very, very well.
Yep.
And then we stuck at it, and from all accounts, Sheffield had a lot of the play, but it wasn't a sort of like a massively dominating performance that they put on.
Yeah.
I think we probably played the perfect road game, and then Ricci gets a break of the puck, knocks up the Carter Folk, and he's away, and he scores. Yeah. And then after that, it's let's hold on to what we've got. Yeah.
And the thing as well is we mention it every season about the entitlement of Sheffield fans, but the entitlement even before the game again and after it, devastating shock loss to Dundee, but this is a Dundee hockey club. Obviously, it's different teams, but it's a Dundee hockey club that has won their last 3 games in Sheffield.
Yeah, exactly. And it was I didn't normally respond to a lot of tweets, to be honest with you, especially with stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was the night. It might have even been the night of the game. So what do we think the score's going to be? I think it'll be 5-1. Yeah, I think it'll be 4-0. I think it'll be 5-0. I think it'll be 5-2. And I think nobody went for the Stars win. There are Sheffield fans, let's be honest. And nobody went for less than 4.
Yeah. And to be fair, it's the one thing I will not stick up for them on that, but you look at the games that they've won against us already this season. They won 5-0 and 7-1.
Yeah.
7-1, I think. So, you can maybe understand why they think it was going to be a bigger gap. But, credit where credit's due at the club again.
Definitely.
Grinding out a victory down there. Which then...
Well, it was good because when I got one Thursday morning, that wee dick never messaged me.
Yeah, wee pal Dowdy never messaged you.
Nope, he never messaged me. I thought, Dowdy, what's going on here? What's happened? You lost your phone. You okay, son?
Yeah. But it led us. It was a good confidence booster for us. We'd beat Nottingham on the Friday. We beat Fife on the Saturday, and then beating Sheffield on the Wednesday. 3-game winning streak puts us into Manchester, and a team that we always struggle against. So Jake Bricknell scored after 10:08 to give Manchester a 1-0 lead. Elijah Bariga, assisted by Dryden Dow and Chris Ingalls, at 15:09. And then a couple of quick-fire goals in the second period by Jesper Orville at 23:13 and 26:06 on the power play. Stars pulled one back again through Dryden Dow, assisted by Elijah Barriga at 40:53 on the power play. And then another two, again, quick-fire goals. Stephen Johnson at 52:38 and Jesper Orville getting his hat-trick at 55:10. I do believe, looking at the game sheet, that one of those goals was actually short-handed. There was a penalty that would have ran over the time where they were short-handed, but it's not on there anyway, so let's just ignore the fact that it might have been short-handed against Manchester again.
Again, we give out exclusives, don't we, on this show? What did we say?
Listen,
who was the guy to watch?
Listen, this I'm going to use a Paul Heyman phrase here, right? It wasn't a prediction; it was a spoiler. The guy Orville, I'd said it at the top of the show, at the top of the preview of this game. We've got to watch for him, and lo and behold, hat-trick.
Exactly. Top sniper, eh?
Good player.
You just cannot give the guy space, or he'll absolutely bury it. And
he really does. He really does remind me of Mike Hammond when Hammond was there.
Yeah.
That just you might not see him a lot, but you see his name on the score sheet all the time. Exactly. It's the same with the guy Cooper at Belfast. You never see him playing against us.
Nope.
But he's got 2 or 3 goals every time. Yeah. So
disappointing, especially after sort of the run that we were on, Nottingham, Fife, Sheffield. We'd said prior to when we were doing last week's show that our expectation was to go in there and take at least a point. Not just a hope. It was actually we were sort of be the self-entitlement. No,
take the 2.
We'll be taking a minimum of 1 point, and if we get the 2, great. But really disappointing to come out with nothing.
Yeah.
Was it a surprise based on the results that we've had? Yes, it was. But if you think about it, it's Manchester. It's a shithole. Anything happens in Manchester,
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Bitterly disappointed.
I was very disappointed in the result. I watched Jeff's interview after it. He did say that he can't fault the guy's effort and the commitment for the full game. It was there. A couple of big penalties, I think, in that game as well. Howlett with a major. I think it was for Borna.
I think that's when was that when they scored their 2? Was that when they scored their 2 quick power play goals?
Quite possibly, yeah. And it's a funny one because it's not like Mac to take a major penalty.
No, it's not.
Sorry, I don't know that.
I do apologise. I'll say
Alexa?
Yeah, I'm not going to say her name just in case she goes again. But she obviously picked something up with Mac. Very strange. But a disappointing result in Manchester. It led us into the game in Guildford as well. And
for the game in Guildford, there was a surprise for me, which was the starting netminder.
Well, to be fair, Lars, I wasn't. I actually thought they were going to split it, and I'm gonna come on to it after the Belfast. Actually, no, I'm going to come on to it now. I don't know what's happening here, and I feel massively for Britton. Massively. Yeah. The guy stood on his head for us last season when Mo was out with concussion or the neck injury, whatever it actually was. Stood on his head, got us big wins, kept it in the hunt for a playoff spot. Mo came back, and he's deemed the starting netminder is because he's the import. Whatever, that's fine. But Britton comes this season. We're led to believe that him and Anton are going to split the season. Hadn't featured much. I think he featured maybe 20 minutes. We had Billy on the other week. 20 minutes over 2 games. Comes in very cold. We've signed this other import goalie now, and Britton's no on the bench for 3 games.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm the same as you. I was surprised when it was announced. I wasn't. I still don't know what to make of it. I really
Let's be
don't.
honest, we didn't need another goalie.
It certainly would be my choice of new signing, unless Anton was leaving. Right
Yes.
now,
Yeah.
Anton's still there,
Yep.
so you've got to
Yep.
assume that Anton's not leaving.
And
I would
seemingly
have,
very happy.
Yeah, I would have preferred that if there was going to be a new signing, it was going to be a big, brutal D-man. And I've said it for ages. Somebody to bulk up at the back end and to knock bodies on their arse.
Or another D-man. I don't care if it was a big brutal like bruiser or D-man. We needed another. We needed a physical D-man, but I think we need another D-man because Colin Joe's going to be out long term with a dislocated shoulder. I assume that's what it is with his arm in a sling. So he could be out at least 6 weeks. At least.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of games in that time.
I think it was a shock to everybody. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if there's been something happened previously, and it's then been, well, we need to sign him. Listen, the guy's named Muck. Let's put it that way. He's no a muck, right? He's got decent sort of CV behind him. He's couple. He's AHL. He's been called up. He's probably played a couple of games. He's played ECHL.
Yep.
But then he comes into Guildford, and he has a bit of a shaky start, to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Guildford Flames game. 1 minute 24. Mike Crowcock puts the 1-0 up. Ian McNulty at 3:41. Robert Lakovic 10:34, and then Bradley Lalonde at 15:44. They give Guildford a 4-0 lead after the first period.
Yeah.
The second biggest shock of the game was his first ever goal for the club. Chris Ingalls at 24:35, assisted by Ricci and Soke. Ryan Locke at 32:45. Chris Gerry against his old club pulled another one back at 41:57, again assisted by Ricci and Soke. Ben Soke getting his first goal for the club at 52:15, assisted by Ricci and Gerry. And Sam Markland with an empty netter at 59:58 to give Guildford a 6-3 victory. And considering we were 4-0 down after the first period, it wasn't a bad result.
Yeah, when I seen the scores coming through, I was expecting the worst when that happened. Even being 3-0 within 10 minutes. And I know there was a delay to face off. That probably didn't help.
Yeah.
You then, because guys will have their routines before they get ready to go. And then to find that the game was delayed for, an hour and a half or something it was? Something like that. You're out of sync. And I know that Guildford would have been in the same position, but they've not travelled. You probably would have wanted to go in there. I think it was at that point they'd scored 2 goals on 2 shots, and everybody must have been thinking, "Wow, what have we actually done here with the net-minding situation?" And I have noticed with Jeff, he is not frightened to use his timeout.
No.
He will call a timeout. Like he called the timeout at 3-0. He called one last night again. If he's not happy, he just calls that timeout.
Yeah.
Yeah, he called the timeout and then they scored.
Yeah. And it's quite funny actually, because there was a number of fans on social media saying that, Jeff just kind of stands there and just doesn't look interested when we're getting beat or whatever. And listen, we're only how many games into the 11 games in the league this season, 11 or 12 games into it. And I think he spoke and shouted and showed a bit more passion than Omar has in the 2-3 seasons he was with.
He ain't a quiet coach. Maybe it looks like that, but we don't sit directly behind him, right? But we sit at an angle behind him.
Yeah.
And we hear him quite clearly. And he does not miss, whether it's players or whether it's officials. He does not miss anybody. He will fucking tell people if he's not happy. Yeah.
Sorry,
you hear your mum shouting.
I just heard mum shouting "oi" there in the background at the dog barking. Largely, you're hearing a nightmare this week in that house. I could hear it.
It's you
But
just got
yeah.
your Alexa going off.
Yeah, but at least it was only
Yeah.
once. So yeah, it was just having that loss to Manchester, the loss in Guildford. I think we're kind of possibly expecting the worst again going into Belfast. But go to Belfast and we come away with a point. So Matt Foley at 11:25, putting them 1-0 up. Ben
Look who got
Soke.
an assist. You see what I got
Yep.
an assist?
Yep, he also had a fight as well.
My mate Cooper.
But yeah, Ben Soke, 22:37 on the power play. Gabe, you big bast, at 27:06, gave them the lead again. And then Ben Soke chipping in with another power play goal, assisted by Semyonovs, 33:58. And then obviously Ben Lake with the winning penalty shot in the shootout for a 3-2 loss, but a point picked up in Belfast.
Again, a point picked up in Belfast.
Yeah,
we've always said it. You go to Belfast and pick a point up every game. You've done well.
Yeah, and I think the most frustrating thing for me is out of those 4 games, I'm looking at a win in Manchester and hoping to pick up a point in Guildford, and we've done it. A win in Sheffield, and we picked up a point in Belfast, and Manchester gained points on us. So that's probably the most frustrating thing. But the good thing is we picked up the 3 points that we were hoping to get out of the 8. Now we've dropped 5, but I was happy with picking up 3 points out of those 4 games.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like I say, we joked about an 8-point naked podcast, right? But let's be honest, we could have had a 0 point. Okay, I did. We could have had a 0 point podcast. Let's be honest.
Yes. Yeah, without a doubt.
But and listen, Guildford. We'll jump back to Guildford in a minute. We said it last week. Guildford are no mugs. They're sitting top of the league for a reason.
Yep.
Right? Whatever they've done this year, they've done it. They've spent wisely. They've put a good team on the ice. And yeah, we got beat 6-3. We got off to a shit start. We were 4-0 down. We could have capitulated whenever. We come out with a sort of a half respectable scoreline, 6-3. Other teams will get pumped in there. And other teams will get pumped in for Guildford as well.
Yeah.
But then what I've been really impressed with, because I've not seen the guy, he played 1 shift in Glasgow, got injured, and he's came back and he's on fire. Ben Soke.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Over the 4 games, Fabrizio Ricci, a goal and 4 assists, and Ben Soke with 3 goals and 2 assists.
Yeah.
We've been crying out for that line to get going. Soke's came in. Obviously, Hugo's went out injured, but Soke's slotted in on that line with Ricci and Gary, and came up with 3+2. That now puts Hugo, when he's fit again, that then goes, okay, where do you slot in now? Do you go down to that third line potentially? But yeah, good to see that line is up and running now. We had been saying it for a couple of weeks now. Fans were saying it on social media that all you see is the points from Semyonovs, Bariga and Sonch. But now we've got Ricci and Soke with Gary hopefully chipping in here and there to give those guys that break. Sonch has been out for 2 games now. So yeah, but looking at the Belfast game, big bit of controversy with the Eric Naslund hit. I've still not seen it back yet. Majority of Stars,
I've not seen it, but seemingly it is.
Yeah, majority of Stars fans are saying it was. They're saying that this is where the Fife Naslund and the silly penalties came in. It seemed like it was a bit of a brutal decision to go and try and make a hit or whatever it was, and just hit him knee on knee. Kicked out, and I think he's kicked out because Conway leaves the game injured.
Yeah,
and then he comes back in the third period.
Back in for the third period. The thing is that doesn't make the hit sort of any sort of better.
No.
As I say, I've not seen it, so reserve judgment on it. I'll only go what we Belfast and Stars fans have both said.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shocker. For me, it's not like Naslund. I don't think Naslund plays that way.
There'll be no intention.
No, I think he's probably mistimed everything. He's made an error in judgment, and he's went knee on knee with Conway.
Yeah.
You don't like seeing anybody getting injured, really badly injured, right? And Conway came back, and then he played in the third period. I think he took one of the penalty shots, so he must have felt okay.
Yep.
And then he makes a cock of himself on Twitter.
Yep. Who is this Naslund guy everyone is talking about? #deadman. So that can't go unpunished. Like, that's got to be a fine from the league for that, surely.
He has deleted it. I've noticed that. He has deleted it. Now, I don't know if he's deleted it because he's thought better of it, or he's seen that Kyle's tweeted.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of rumours about it that is a fake Twitter account for Scott Conway. However, I don't believe it is, because Adam Keefe follows him, the Belfast Giants follow him, and a view from the Bridge follows him as well as a few of the Belfast players. So I think it is his account. But
I wouldn't be surprised if even somebody like Adams got in touch with him and said, "Look, I think you maybe better delete that."
Yeah. But again, that can't go unpunished by the league. You've physically made a threat to someone.
Yeah.
Regardless if the hit was intentional or not. You know.
But I've said it before. We seem to be getting a bit of a rivalry with Belfast, eh?
I know.
And I don't know where it's really come from. Is it because of the Challenge Cup? Because they're in the group of the Challenge Cup, and you begin to play them probably the same amount of times as you play the other Scottish teams?
Listen, I think it's Kyle Haas. I think that's where the rivalry
I think it started before that.
I think it was. I just think it was last season though that it really started. I think it all started with the hit on Drew Rumgay, which effectively killed his chances of pro hockey playing from the hit by Boucher on him. It could also be the hit that Rumgay gave to Ben Lake when he busted his nose open. Again, Kyle Haas hit on Boucher. I genuinely think that last season, there was the hit by Kevin Rain. There was the hit by Kevin Rain on Garrigan as well at the start of last season when Sills went after him. So I genuinely think it's last season that this has really gave us a rivalry.
Good and I enjoy it. Definitely. I really enjoy the games. I really do enjoy the games when they're like that.
And that's the thing, like, you look at a rivalry, right? And it's usually teams that are there and thereabouts you. So you Fife, Glasgow, because they're Scottish. You then look at Manchester. That's a bit of a rivalry game based on where they are in the league. Belfast's up the top, but the games that we have against them just has turned into a bit of a rivalry.
Yeah.
Belfast fans will disagree with me, but
I
think from our point of view, it's turned into a rivalry.
Yeah, they're not wanting a rivalry with a provincial club like Dundee. They want their rivalry to be probably Cardiff, Sheffield, to a lesser degree Nottingham. They didn't want the rivalry to be against Dundee.
Yeah,
but I love it. I think it's really
there. Good. Yeah, it's there, and I think
I laughed at some of the comments about Dundee and the way they play, and then somebody went, "Yeah, we've got your assistant coach for last season."
I know. Probably using a very similar style to what Kiefer does.
Exactly. As I say, I don't think Naslund's meant it. I don't. I think it's been ill-timed. He's got it all wrong, and unfortunately, Conway got hurt. Fortunately, he's came back and he's played. But as I say, he's made a bit of a cock with that tweet. He probably regrets it now. It was probably heat of the moment, and he probably regrets it.
Yeah.
Well, the next time Belfast's up here, I'll certainly remind him.
Yes, and he'll probably remind you of why he's probably one of the best players in the league.
That's okay though. That's his job. That's his job.
Yeah. So looking ahead, the games this weekend. So we've got the Guildford Flames at home. So obviously we know Guildford. We spoke about them last week in the last week's show. Guys like McNulty, Ferguson, Tedesco, Markland. There's so many of them that can just chip in all the time with points, with goals and assists. And as you say, they're not top of the league for no reason, or around about the top of the league for no reason.
Exactly.
Big budget. They are a big budget team. Again, I said it last week. Regardless of what people say, they are a big budget team. They're millionaires. They're millionaire. Their owners are absolutely minted. But yeah,
I
what
think
you
for
think,
me,
Tim?
I'm thinking we need to get someone out of it.
Yeah,
I think we need to get someone. It's a home game, so I would expect 2 points. But I think if we came away with one, I would probably come up the road fairly happy, considering
Yeah.
where Guildford are in the league at the moment and how they're playing compared to where we are in the league,
yeah,
and how we are inconsistent. The biggest decision for me is who's going to be the netminder for us.
yeah. I think again, you look at the games last week that were won or gained points in. Both Anton. Do you give Anton the home game and the our new goalie the away game, or do you give him the home game and get Anton on the road? And
that's the big decision for me, is when the goalie, was it Marot?
Marot or Marot.
He will have to get a home game sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think it could be him that plays, and I think Anton will get the Blaze game.
yeah. Quite possibly.
That's what I think. I might be a million miles away from it. Can me that Anton will get both, or Marot will get both games or something, or Britton will play both.
Aye, yeah. I'll get two imports, get Britton in.
Yeah.
But yeah, Coventry.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough.
Yeah, Coventry. First time we've seen them this season. Although it's away from home, but first time we've played them. Colton Yellowhorn, obviously there. He's kind of lighting up for points right now for the Blaze. Joint second top point scorer on 15 with David Goodwin of Belfast, and also Nathaniel Halbert of Coventry, the D-man. So they've got two in the top 5 for points, both equal second. It's be a tough game against Coventry. Danny Stewart seems to have put a really good team together this year. As you say, they've got guys who can score. They've got guys who are putting points up a lot of. John Kern's still there. I'm fearful for us in Coventry on Sunday. Just a little bit. They've got their goal scoring's getting spread across the board. That's where I'm fearful of it. That it could be relentless and constantly, shift after shift after shift.
We certainly need to get off to a good start in Coventry.
There's a way to say that. We need to get off. We need to jump on them early. If we can jump on them early and maybe get ourselves 1-0 up, then they're trying to chase the game a little bit, and we can push up just that little bit when we need to.
Exactly. Or we just, if we don't get an early, well, not even an early lead, but at least get a lead, as long as we don't concede 1, 2, 3 goals early doors. But you're still on mute.
I know. I was coughing.
Oh my God!
I was coughing. I can't get.
Show this, is it?
I know.
Does anybody listen to this shit?
I know. And considering we just got a new sponsor and everything in, here's me being unprofessional. I still can't get rid of this bloody cough after COVID. That's been over 3 weeks now. So yeah, I'd mute myself a cough. But no, I was saying, I agree. We need to jump on them early, I think. But again, it's a difficult venue. Some place where we've always struggled, even since the BNL days. You look at that very first season we had in the BNL, where we won the league and the playoffs, and we beat them at home every time. We'd lost every away game until it came to the playoff finals, where we beat them away and lost at home, but still won overall in aggregate. We've always struggled in Coventry, always. but there's always been at least one game every season where we've won or picked up points from
Yeah.
them. So again, a bit fearful because it could be relentless from them, but hopefully we could jump
So
on
what-
them early.
So what are you predicting this weekend then, points wise?
Points wise, my gut's telling me we're only getting one,
Right.
but I'm optimistic for at least
I'm optimistic
win.
for 2.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic for 2. How
Yeah.
we get that?
How we get that, I don't care.
Is anybody's guess. Yeah. It could be
Um,
2 overtime or penalty shot losses. It might be
Yep. One
a
win and a
home win
loss.
and
Yeah,
an away defeat, or a home defeat and an away win.
yeah.
If we
I
get any
get,
more than that, I would be absolutely delighted.
yeah, and again, it's nothing against the team.
No, I just think it's the opposition.
It's
I-
two difficult
me,
games.
Yes. At this point in time, I think both Guildford and Coventry are playing better than us. I'm not saying they're a better team than us,
Yeah,
but they are playing better than us.
Yeah.
And I think they've got a bigger goal scoring threat than us across the board, as you say. But I think they're a lot more tighter defensively than what we are.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, be happy with 2. For how we get it, don't care. Happy with 2 points. But remember, Guildford on Saturday, our first competition for the newly
Yep.
sponsored A View from Section C, Don McKellar. I need to get used to saying Don McKellar for him.
Yeah.
I'm
Is
going
it
to
Don
keep saying Don
McKellar or
Michelle.
Don McKelly?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to end up just keeping on saying Don Michelle. Someone will correct me at the rink on Saturday probably. But
Probably
yeah.
Paddy.
I know.
He'll
Yeah,
be standing waiting on us going in. What did I fucking tell you guys?
we'd be surprised. But yeah, 2 free pizzas up for grabs. Again, honestly, the pizzas in, I'm saying it, Don Michelle are absolutely phenomenal. We were in not too long ago with Shannon's mum and stepdad when they were dropping Spencer off.
It wasn't me you were in with.
No, they were
No,
dropping Spencer
no.
off because he was staying with
Yeah.
us for the weekend, so they treated us
Yeah.
to Don Michelle.
You stay in Arbroath. You wouldn't be dropping me off on the Perth Road.
No, but we had to meet them halfway because we were coming across the bridge.
Yeah, okay, no bother.
Fifers. But yeah, so 2 free pizzas up for grabs. Guess the right goal, the first goal scorer, either team, Guildford or the Stars, will enter into that prize draw. And obviously the winner, 2 free pizzas. Don't forget your 20% off as well for the whole of the month of
And
November.
that's for the whole of November. If you go in,
November.
whole of
Jesus.
November, if you go in and mention the View from Section C podcast, 20% off.
Yeah, Mike Donnelly will be in there every single night for the whole month
I hope he is.
of November.
I hope he is. He'll just keep going in. A View from Section C. There you go.
I know, tremendous.
Yeah, outstanding.
But yeah, that's it for this week. That
Do you
feels
know-
like a
do you-
really quick show.
That was it. Do you know there's an anniversary coming up?
There's an anniversary coming up.
Yeah.
Who's the
In
anniversary coming
a
up?
few weeks. My major surgery.
Your major surgery.
It's almost a year.
Oh, is it?
If I had that
No, the
major
fact that it's you and your wife's anniversary coming up in a couple of weeks.
Oh, shit, I forgot about
Aye. Well, think about your
Nah.
fucking major surgery.
that. We should take a competition to see if anybody can guess how many stitches there was.
Fuck off. And
Free set of crutches for the DRI.
yep. And also, as well, easiest way to listen to the podcast, you can say your little Amazon friend's name. I'm not going to say it because she's going to kick off again and say, play A View from Section C podcast. It'll be up. A View from the Bridge had this week. I had a bit of a laugh about it, brought it up myself, and it plays it. So ask your little Alexa, and hopefully she doesn't pop up right now.
Yeah.
She still heard us. She's gone blue. But yeah, competitions, money off, percentage discounts, and get onto your Amazon and listen to the show. But yeah, hopefully we're sitting here, smiles on our faces next week with some extra points than what we predicted.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, as I say, we'll put the post out for the competition. We'll see you at the rink on Saturday. Have a good weekend and a good week, and we'll speak to you again next week.
See you after.